Hi everybody, brought to you by BU Fit. We're going to go ahead and go over some shoulder and neck health today. So let's talk about shoulder and neck health. So when our neck gets tight, let's say if we're sleeping wrong, or if we're sleeping in the wrong position, if our head's elevated too much when we're sleeping, or let's say you just had your head in a weird position from watching TV, maybe you're resting your head too long, it can put a lot of strain on those smaller neck muscles, and they're pretty sensitive and they can lock up pretty quick. So a lot of those tissues, the muscle fibers can get balled up and stuck. So a lot of the ways with the lacrosse ball here, we can go ahead and unstick those tissues. So when the front of your neck is tight from sleeping, or it's like in a bad neck position or from slouching, or let's say like it got really tight from exercising, you're doing like a lot of chest work, a lot of shoulder work, a lacrosse ball can actually reduce the binding of that tissue. Why, you might ask? It can compromise breathing, posture, and it can also cause headaches. So we want to reduce any of that and any pain that any of you are having today as well. What does this do? Well, we can restore sliding surfaces, and we can regain range of motion in our neck flexors. So a lot of flexion, extension, we can regain that range of motion that we're losing. So if you're like having a hard time turning your head and it's just so stiff that you can barely move it, we're going to go ahead and go over some techniques to kind of fix that. So what we're doing today is the first time we're doing an anterior neck smash. So it's a neck mobility smash. So we're doing a lot of what is called tack and twist, and you can use that with a lacrosse ball. So you can do this tack and twisting pretty much anywhere on your body. It will actually help grip the tissue and help a lot of that fascial tissue underneath your skin to move properly. So we're going to go ahead and go over that. So it's really actually quite easy. You take your lacrosse ball, let's get in here. So you tilt your head to the side that's stiff. So let's say if this is the side that's stiff on me, I'm going to go ahead and place it right above my clavicle. So it should be the bony connection right here and right underneath my neck. So, and I'm also going to think of kind of paying attention to like where my ear is at too, because you can go from your ear all the way, I would say, to like the middle of your collarbone. So from here to here, or you can line it up with your chin. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to take the lacrosse ball right above my clavicle. I'm going to go ahead and angle my head towards it to kind of crick it in there, to kind of put it right into that tissue of my neck. And then I'm going to go ahead and, once I get that tissue balled up, I'm going to twist slightly, and then I'm going to go ahead and just look away. I'm going to look in all different directions while I'm still twisting and applying pressure. While I'm keeping pressure, I'm going to look away, come back, find another spot, twist a little bit more, twist and tack. So I'm applying, twisting, pressure on my neck, and then I'm going to go ahead and look away. I'm going to look up, I'm going to look the other way. I'm just going to look all the way around to get some range of motion in there, and then twist. So I'm going to go from, I would say, probably like the mid-ear line right here, right above that clavicle. Sit, twist, and look away. And I'm going to twist it while I'm looking away. Just like so. So I'm twisting and looking away. So that's going to go ahead and grab some of those smaller muscles and help them move a little bit, help break up that. Even just doing that a little bit right now, my neck actually feels quite a bit looser. It doesn't take much. You don't have to apply a lot of pressure onto this, but just know that just a little goes a long way, and just make sure you stay right above that clavicle here. And you can do it on both sides. It'll help release any tension that you're holding in your neck, and any tension that's actually kind of leading into that shoulder too, because all of this is connected. So if you have any like chest tension or anything, this will kind of help loosen all that up as well. Let's go ahead and get into our next mobility. It's called the posterior neck mobility. So this one is actually on the floor. So I'm going to try to show you the best way I can, because I don't have like the best recording equipment. But what you want to do is you want to take your lacrosse ball or any kind of size ball, and you want to find that little spot in the middle of your skull, and you want to go from the edge of your ear and line all the way to the middle of the skull. So this is where you want to start. So when we come down on the ground, make sure that you guys can see me. I'm going to go ahead and lay on the ground. Yep, you guys can see me. I'm going to lay here, right in the crick of my neck. I find that little notch in my neck. And from here, I'm just gonna go ahead and roll all the way to my ear, apply pressure, and then come back. Nice and easy, roll. Roll all the way to the other side, apply pressure, and then come back. And if you need a little bit more pressure on this, you can take your hand, place your wrist on top of your head to apply pressure onto that. And then I'm gonna take my other hand and kind of hold my wrist. And then I'm gonna kind of guide that. And I'm gonna do little scrubbing motions as I go all the way to the edge of my ear. And then I'm gonna just nice and easy come back to center. Just little scrubbing motions. The same way, I'm gonna scrub, scrub, scrub. Rotate, my hair's kind of slipping right now. Careful, your hair might slip. And we're gonna apply that pressure, scrub, 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 all the way to the other ear, and just come back. And you can also lay on this ball and just breathe. And relax onto it and just scrub back and forth. That will help any tension that you're holding in the back of your neck as well. But yeah, so that's the other one that we can do. It kind of helps clean up the back of your neck and at the base of the skull. Now our next movement that we're gonna be doing that I'm gonna go over, I have to kind of move you, so hold on a second. This one is called a lacrosse ball door smash, and it's actually for the tops of your shoulders. So I'm gonna come over here, demo this one for you. I have my rig set up right here, so let me just prop you up right there. Hopefully you can see it pretty good. Bring you over a little bit more. So with this guy, so I'm gonna take my lacrosse ball, just like this, and act like this is like my hallway. So let's say like you're walking, you have enough space in your doorway of like your kitchen or like in the hallway. This would kind of simulate that door frame. So I'm taking this lacrosse ball. Let me make this a little bit easier for you guys to see. I'm gonna take this lacrosse ball and I'm gonna go ahead and put it right up into that shoulder, right here. So I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna do it on the inside, but you would wanna do it on the outside. So I'll just mimic what I'm doing on the outside so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna come here, get it in that crook of my neck. I'm gonna hinge down as far as I can, make it nice and even, put it right into the crick, right here. So I'm applying pressure, you don't need a lot. So I'm just holding it onto the door frame. I'm gonna take a couple deep breaths in and out. Let that melt in like butter. And once you get a good position, let your arm just hang. Because we're just trying to let gravity do its work. Now you don't need a lot. And we're just gonna hold and breathe. If you want, you can do little oscillation movements back and forth and just use your body to help you apply pressure to the wall. And you can also rotate your arm up. Rotate it down, just back and forth. You don't have to go very far. Up and down, up and down. And we just kind of, you could probably do like 10 rotations, and you can move it as well. So if you feel like you want to get a little bit deeper, you can kind of rotate your body into this as well. Apply pressure, not a whole lot. And make sure you're breathing. We want to sink down into it. You want to do about 4 breaths in, 4 seconds breath in, and I would say 5 to 10 seconds out with that breath as well, because the longer we have our breath outwards, it's going to go ahead and reduce any of the lactic acid buildup, and it's also going to help with reducing any higher acidity in our body. Our pH can get raised up because of if we're not breathing properly, and a lot of the times if we have neck or shoulder issues, we won't breathe properly because we're holding that tension. So we'll do a lot of chest breathing instead of diaphragm breathing, so your acidity and your inflammation will actually go up more. So this can help reduce any inflammation, and it might also help you reduce any stress that you're holding in your shoulders as well. So it's like you kill 2 birds with 1 stone kind of thing, right? All right, so after this one, our last mobility, it's more of a thoracic spine one, but we're gonna do it more of like a side mobility. So we're gonna get on the floor. See if I can move this out a little bit and adjust you just one more time. Let's see, I'll bring us over here. Excuse that. Okay, so this one is called the Quadruped T-spine rotation opener. So I'm gonna get on my hands and knees, just like so. And I wanna make sure my knees are under my hips. So my hips and my knees are in a nice big line. There we go. My hands, my wrists, the palms of my hands are underneath my shoulders, so my body's nice and stacked. just like so. So I'm gonna get nice and stacked. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and take my arm. It doesn't really matter what side you're doing. You can do this on both sides. I'm gonna go ahead and take my arm and place it, make a little A-OK spot and put it right by my eye. And this is kind of weird, but it's gonna keep you nice and straight on. And I'm gonna start out from the bottom, and I'm gonna follow my shoulder through it. I'm gonna follow my eye. Look at my eye, I'm gonna follow it through. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. And I'm just gonna go ahead and open. I'm gonna keep opening and opening, and I should feel a big stretch in my thoracic spine here. You shouldn't feel it a whole lot in the hips. If you do a little bit, just don't go as far. So we're coming back down, so I'm holding, looking through, following that shoulder through, and then I'm gonna come back down. Bring it in towards the inside of that elbow, of that crick, and then we're gonna open it up again. And we breathe out. Breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. And we're just gonna focus on that rotation. So let's go ahead, I'm gonna get a front view on here, nice and stacked. I'm gonna do my other side now. I'm gonna take my hand. You can also just kind of line it up like this too. Or if you feel like it's weird, you can put it on your ear. Whatever's easier for you. It's just the eye makes you follow your shoulder and your elbow a little bit better. So I'll put my hand like this if you don't like that other way. Bring it in. Take it. Keep nice and stable, and I'm opening it up. Rotating through. Trying to open it up just like a book. Get a big stretch to that thoracic spine. Coming in, touching that inside of that elbow there. Opening it back up. Coming back down. With this one, I want you to do 1 to 2 sets of 10 on each side. I would do like a 3-second up and hold for 1 second and 3 seconds down. This is not a fast movement. It's not repping it out. It's just nice and easy. You're just trying to get some movement in that thoracic spine. If you have a hard time being up in that quadruped position, you can also take this one to the ground, and it's called a rib grab. So we're nice and up, just like so. If you want, you can take a pillow and put it underneath your knees to keep your hips nice and even, but we're gonna lie down all the way on the ground. And let's say I have a pillow here, I'm gonna grab underneath my rib here. It's like underneath a couple of the lower rib cage, or the ribs, before they start coming off and floating. So you wanna grab ones that are connected, because we have a couple of ribs that don't really connect anywhere. So we're coming here, we're taking a deep breath in, deep breath out. And then I'm just grabbing and following that shoulder. I'm gonna look at my shoulder and rotate with it. Coming back in, I'm gonna reset, grab my rib, and rotate. And you can do about 2 sets of 10. So I'm actually physically grabbing my rib with my hand and rotating through. I only wanna feel it in my thoracic spine though. That's creating some T-spine movement and just getting everything moving properly as well. You can do that on both sides, 2 sets of 10, just like the quadruped one as well. If you have any other questions, please message me on there. This was brought to you by BU Fitness. If you guys have any questions, please don't be afraid to ask. Have a good day.